Hello everyone, Chemistry Tute is back with the solution of ICSE Chemistry 2024 question paper. Without wasting any time, let me share the screen and the paper so that we can discuss the answers as per the marking scheme. Now here it goes, it says choose the correct answers to the questions from the given options. Question number 1, where it is saying first one, an aqueous solution of copper sulfate turns colorless on electrolysis. Which of the following could be the electrodes? The correct answer for this is only Q, anode. So this is the first answer. Then we move to the next one. The second part says a compound P is heated in a test tube with sodium hydroxide solution. A red litmus paper held at the mouth of the test tube turns blue. Which of the following could compound P be? So for the second part, it's option D, that is ammonium sulfate. Why it's ammonium sulfate? Because it's clearly saying a red litmus paper held at the mouth. You all must be aware that ammonium salts or ammonia, they are basic in nature, and the ones which are basic in nature, they use the indicator as red litmus paper or moist, or the red litmus solution which turns blue, indicating that the given solution or the gas, it's basic in nature. So the answer will be option D. Now, for the third part, it is saying the atomic masses of sulfur, oxygen, helium, and are approximately 32, 16, and 4 respectively. Which of the following statements regarding the number of atoms in 32 grams of sulfur, 16 grams of oxygen, and 4 grams of helium is correct? And for this, the answer is neither P nor Q. Now, P is saying 16 grams of oxygen contains 4 times the number of atoms as 4 grams of helium. Now, we need to recall the statement of Avogadro's law, which very clearly says that 1 mole of any gas at STP will have same number of atoms, that is 6 into 10 to the power 23, or molecules or ions. And let me remind you that your 1 mole of the gas at STP is also equivalent to its relative molecular mass. That is molecular mass expressed in grams. So for this, your D part is the correct option, which says neither P nor Q. Then comes the fourth part. Ammonia gas is passed through quicklime and then collected in a jar. Red and blue litmus papers are placed in the jar. W, X, Y, and Z are the 4 observations. Which of the following observations correctly shows the reaction of the litmus papers to ammonia? Now, for this, the answer is option B, that is X, where the red litmus paper remains red and the blue litmus paper remains blue. So here it's saying ammonia gas is passed through quicklime and then collected in a jar. Red and blue. So your quicklime is a drying agent. And unless and until your litmus paper is moist, it will never give a positive test. So the red will remain red and the blue will remain as blue. So option B, that is X, is the correct answer. Then comes the fifth part. Glucose reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid to give a very pure form of carbon called charcoal. The reaction taking place is, now for this the answer is C, that is dehydration. Because you all need to remember that your conc H2SO4 in this case acts as a dehydrating agent where it extracts all the water molecule. So once the water molecule is extracted, your glucose turns into a black powder, amorphous powder, which is called charcoal. And you also hear a charring sound, which is a very important point for the observation question for the same. Now, in the sixth part, they are showing some diagrams in which of the following electrolytic cells, P, Q, R, or S, will silver plating be done on the spoon? And for this, the correct answer is B, that is Q. Now, why it is that? It's so that the silver plate and we are having your silver spoon In the first part, it is silver plate and silver plated spoon, but distilled water is there, so it cannot be the correct option because the electrolyte does not contain the silver ions. In your second case, I'm going downwards, that is R, S, they are not correct. How to identify? Because there is a very small hairline difference. Please remember that left hand side of the electrolytic cell, the electrode is always anode and RHS is always your cathode. Whatever article has to be electroplated will always be placed at your cathode, not at anode. So diagram Q is the correct representation for the silver plating on the spoon to be done. So your correct answer is B, that is Q. The basicity of acetic acid. Now acetic acid, the formula is CH3COOH, and in this case the answer will be A, that is 1. If you want need to recall the definition of basicity, it says that one molecule of an acid furnishing the number of H plus ions decides the basicity of the acid. If I talk about the dissociation of acetic acid, it releases one H plus ion, so the basicity is 1. It is a monobasic acid. Then comes the eighth part, A giving A plus 3, B giving B minus. Number of electrons present in the outermost shells of atoms A and B respectively are. Now in this case, if I go, the option is correct C, that is 3, 7. Why 3, 7? You see in the first case, A is losing 3 electrons. Now, if A is losing 3 electrons, that means the number of electrons which are present in the outermost shell, that is in the last, are 3, because any atom can maximum lose only 3 electrons, not more than that. In the second case, the number of electrons present in the outermost shells of atoms A and B respectively are. So it will be your 7, because B is changing into -1. That means it requires 1 electron to complete its octet state. That is why it is changing into -1. Gain of electron is taking place. And -1 indicates that it is already having 7 electrons in the outermost shell. So once it gains 1 electron, it will complete its octet configuration. So the answer is 3, 7, that is the C part. Then comes the ninth part. It says an element with atomic number dash will form an acidic oxide. Now, out of these, if we work, okay, I have spoken your option 10. So, because I have read option 10, so I'm telling the answer for option 10. It will be 17. Why 17? Because if I see 3, it is the atomic number of which particular element? It is lithium, which cannot form an acidic oxide. 11. 11 is the atomic number of sodium. It is a metal. It cannot form an acidic oxide. It will form an basic oxide. 13, again, it is an atomic number of aluminium. It will not form acidic oxide. It will form an basic oxide. And then moreover, your aluminium is also amphoteric in nature. So that also you have to remember. Here it's saying an element with atomic number dash will form an acidic oxide. So it will be your 17, which is the atomic number of chlorine. Now this is a thought-based question where your concepts need to be very clear. That is why the council has said very clearly that the child should remember the elements of period 1, 2, 3, and 4 properly. So when you are learning these elements, please see their properties also. Revise if not yet done. Then comes the ninth part. A dash solution is observed after placing magnesium metal in a solution of copper sulfate for half an hour. So for ninth, the answer will be option B, that is colorless. Then comes the 11th part. Which of the following is not true with respect to nitric acid? So if I go with that, it will be your A part, that it is a strong reducing agent. Why? Because nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. So here they have highlighted the word not. So the answer will be A, it is a strong reducing agent. Then 12th, dash is the functional group of methanol. Now in the last it is coming as all OL. So OL always comes in the IUPAC name of alcohol, because IUPAC name of alcohol is alkanol. So OH group will be the answer, that is part B. Then comes the 13th part, the process of electrolysis is an example of. So here it will be the redox reaction. Why? Because at cathode reduction occurs and at anode oxidation occurs. So when oxidation and reduction occur together, it is always an example of a redox reaction. So part C, that is redox reaction, is the correct answer. Then 14th part, the catalyst used in Ostwald's process is, in this the correct answer is D, that is platinum. Then comes the 15th part, an element belongs to the third period and 16th group. It will have dash electrons in the valence shell. So here the answer will be C, that is 6. Then comes question number 2, which I told you that they have changed the format of the question paper. So you need to remember that you are now doing a question number 2 in section A, which will always be a diagrammatic question. Now here it says the setup shown below is that of the fountain experiment with hydrogen chloride gas in the flask. Now here the setup has been shown. Let's see the questions. The question, it says the fountain starts when a few drops of water from the dropper are introduced into the flask. Instead of the drops of water, Pooja started the fountain by introducing a few drops of sodium hydroxide into the flask. Now, part A, it is saying, explain why the litmus solution gets sucked up when sodium hydroxide is used. Why? Because what will happen? Your HCl is a strong gas and your NaOH is a strong base. So the reaction will occur between hydrogen chloride gas and sodium hydroxide solution. Hence, a vacuum will be created inside the flask, and that is why it is saying that the solution gets sucked up when sodium hydroxide is used. Part B. What will be the color of the fountain when sodium hydroxide is used? It will be colorless. Reason being that when HCl will react with NaOH, it will form NaCl plus H2O. So the resulting solution will be neutral in nature. And because the resulting solution will be neutral in nature, hence the answer will be colorless. Then part C, if instead of HCl gas, ammonia gas is filled with in the flask and water is introduced from the dropper, will there be a different observation? Justify your answer. Yes, there will be a different observation, and the observation will be that you will observe a blue fountain because ammonia is basic in nature. That is why. Now comes the match of the following. Now in this, it says match the following column A with column B. So for aluminium, it is correct answer is part 3, that is Hall-Herold's process. For sulfuric acid, answer is 4, that is contact process, which is the manufacture process for sulfuric acid. Part C, calcination, the answer is 2, that is carbonate ore. Calcination means heating the ore in absence of oxygen, that is your calcination. And the reverse is roasting, when we heat the ore in presence of oxygen. So here it is calcination. It will be applicable for carbonate ore because your carbonate CO3, it already contains oxygen. So the ore will be heated in absence of oxygen. So hence calcination, part 2, carbonate ore is the correct answer. Part D, the answer will be 5th part, calcium chloride electrovalent compound, because calcium is a metal. Please remember that in chemical bonding, any such kind of question is coming and you have a confusion, just see that which elements are being used. If one of the element is metallic, it will always be your electrovalent compound. If both are non-metallic, whether belonging to the same element or the different element, it will be your covalent bond or covalent compound. And if it is NH4 plus, that is ammonium ion or hydronium ion, it will be your coordinate bond will be formed. It will be an example of coordinate bond. Then comes the third part. Complete the following by choosing the correct answers from the bracket. Now, in this first part, if an element has one electron in the outermost shell, then it is likely to have the largest atomic size amongst all the elements in the same period. B, the answer will be hydrochloric acid. Does not form an acid salt. Part C, it will be reddish brown colored precipitate is formed when ammonium hydroxide is added to a solution of ferric chloride. Part D, it will be substitution reaction because alkanes always undergo substitution reaction. Alkenes and alkynes undergo addition reaction. Part E, an alloy, it is saying that and dash solution will turn methyl orange pink. So in this case, the answer will be your acidic. Then comes the next part. Part 4, identify the following. A bond formed between two atoms by sharing a pair of electrons with both electrons being provided by the same atom. Answer is coordinate bond. Part B, a salt formed by the complete neutralization by of an acid by a base. It is a normal salt. Part C, a reaction in which the hydrogen of an alkane is replaced by a halogen. It is substitution or halogenation reaction. Part D, the energy required to remove an electron from a neutral gaseous atom. It will be ionization energy or ionization potential. Both are correct. Part E, homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal in a definite proportion in their molten state. Here the answer will be alloy. Then comes the fifth, draw the structural diagram for the following compounds. Propanol 1, that means you will have 3 carbon atoms in the chain. And on the first carbon atom from right hand side, you will just convert that C into CHO. Because it is all, that means it is the IUPAC name of an aldehyde. Then second 1,2 dichloroethane, it will have a carbon chain of 2 carbon atoms. And on both the carbon atoms, you will place chlorine and the rest of the bonds will be balanced by adding hydrogen atom. Butene, it will have 4 carbon atoms and from the second carbon atom, you will draw a double bond and then you will balance the hydrogen atoms. Part B, give the IUPAC name of the following compounds. In part B, your first functional group is OH. It is carbon number 1. So the answer will be 1-propanol. Part 2, you can see that there is a double bond and you are having 5 carbon atoms. So it will be pentene. Then comes your section B, which is a choice part. Question number 3, first part, identify the reactant and write the balance equation for the following. Nitric acid reacts with compound Q to give a salt, calcium nitrate, water and carbon dioxide. So here your compound Q will be calcium carbonate. And the balance reaction will be 2HNO3 plus CaCO3 gives CaNO3 whole twice plus CO2 plus H2O. Part 2, what property of sulfuric acid is exhibited in each of the following cases? First, in the preparation of HCl gas when it reacts with sodium chloride. Answer is non-volatile acid. Part B, when conc sulfuric acid reacts with copper to produce sulfur dioxide gas, it will be oxidizing agent. Then third part, the electron affinity of an element X is greater than that of Y. A, how is the oxidizing power of X likely to compare with that of Y? Oxidizing power of X will be more than of Y. B, how is electronegativity of X likely to compare with that of Y? Electronegativity of X is higher than of Y. C, state whether X is likely to be placed to the left or to the right of Y in the periodic table. Answer will be X is placed after Y in the period, that is right of Y. Then the fourth part, A, state whether the following statements are true or false. Justify your answer. In the first case, it is in an electrovalent compound, the cation attains the electronic configuration of the noble gas that comes from comes after it in the periodic table, it is false. Second, in the formation of compound PQ2, atom P gives one electron to each atom of Q. The compound PQ2 is a good conductor of electricity. The statement is true. B part, calculate the number of moles in 22 grams of carbon dioxide. CO2 is the formula, so we will calculate the molecular mass, which will come as 44 grams. The formula will be total weight divided by molecular weight. Total weight which is given in the question is 22. 22 divided by molecular weight, that is 44. So 22 divided by 44 will give half, that is 0.5 mole. Then question number 4. The following questions relate to the extraction of aluminium by electrolysis. A, name the other aluminium containing compound added to alumina. The answer will be, for the first A part, the answer will be cryolite and fluorspar. Part B, give a balanced equation for the following reaction that takes place at cathode. So it will be Al plus 3 electrons giving 3 Al, or it will be only Al. It will be only Al because for aluminium the valency is plus 3, and because at cathode reduction occurs, that means gain of electron occurs. So your equation will be Al plus 3 electrons giving Al. Second part, it says a gas cylinder of capacity 40 decimeter cube is filled with gas X, the mass of which is 20 grams. When the same cylinder is filled with hydrogen gas at the same temperature and pressure, the mass of hydrogen is 2 grams. Find the relative molecular mass of the gas. Here we know that relative molecular mass is 2 into vapor density. So vapor density will be 20 divided by 2, that is 10. And hence the relative molecular mass will be 2 into 10, that is 20 grams. Third, give a balanced equation for each of the following. Part A, an action of warm water on aluminum nitride. So it will be ALN plus 3H2O giving NH3 plus Al2O3. Second part, C plus 4 HNO3, and below HNO3 you will write conc because in the statement it is saying conc HNO3 gives CO2 plus 4NO2 plus 2H2O. Part C, dehydration of ethanol by conc sulfuric acid at a temperature of 170 degrees centigrade. It will be C2H5OH. On the arrow, you will write conc H2SO4, and below the arrow, you will write the condition 170 degrees centigrade, giving C2H4 plus H2O. Then part 4, with respect to Haber's process, answer the following. Temperature of the reaction will be 450 to 500 degrees centigrade. Catalyst used is powdered finely divided iron or powdered iron. Part C, it will be N2 plus 3H2, reversible arrow. On the reversible arrow, you will write the catalyst as finely divided iron, and below that you will write promoter as molybdenum, giving 2NH3. Then question 5, Ranjana wants to prove that ammonia is a reducing agent. To demonstrate this, she passes ammonia gas over heated copper oxide. What will she observe? The answer will be a black colored copper oxide is converted into reddish brown metal. Then part B, write a balanced chemical equation for the above reaction. It will be 2NH3 plus 3CuO gives 3Cu plus 3H2O plus N2. Second part, name the alloy which is made up of part A, copper, zinc and tin. Answer is bronze. Second, lead and tin. The answer is solder or fused metal. Third part, Seema takes a blue crystalline pea salt in a test tube. On heating it, produces a white anhydrous powder. P is dissolved in water. Zinc is added to one part of the solution, and to another part of the solution, barium chloride is added. Name the compound P. So in this, the compound P will be hydrated copper sulfate. B, mention one observation when zinc is added to the solution of P. Blue color of solution disappears after some time. C, state the color of the PPT formed when barium chloride is added to the solution of P. It will be white precipitate is formed. Part 4, give reasons. First, ethylene undergoes addition reaction due to the presence of double covalent bond. Part B, Hydrocarbons can be used as fuels because they are highly combustible and burn in the presence of oxygen and have a very high calorific value. Part C, hydrogen chloride gas cannot be collected over water. Reason, it is highly soluble in water, it will form hydrochloric acid. Question 6, name the following. First part, the ore of zinc containing its sulfide, zinc sulfide or zinc blend. The most common use oxide ore of aluminium, it is bauxite. State one observation in the following cases. Part A, sodium chloride solution is added to the solution of lead nitrate. So the observation will be a white precipitate is formed. In the second part, barium chloride solution is added to the solution of zinc sulfate. Again, the answer will be white precipitate is formed. Then part 3, copper sulfate solution is electrolyzed using copper electrodes. First is, which electrode, cathode or anode, is the oxidizing electrode? Why? Anode will be the answer because copper metal rod in contact of copper sulfate solution. Then part B, write the equation for the reaction occurring in the above electrode. Because it is an oxidizing electrode, so the loss of electron will occur. So it will be Cu giving Cu plus 2 electrons. Then comes your fourth part. X and Y are two elements. They have given the configuration. Now using this information, you have to complete the following. Part A, dash is the metallic element. The answer for this will be Y, because I have already told you that you have to see the number of electrons in the outermost shell. If it is 1, 2 or 3, it will always be metal. If it is 4, 5, 6 or 7, it will always be non-metal. If it is 8, it will be a noble gas. So Y is the correct answer. Then metal atom tend to have maximum of 2 electrons in the outermost shell. C, dash is the reducing agent, X is the reducing agent. Question number 7, the empirical formula of a compound is given. Its molecular weight is 108. Find the amount of carbon in 1 mole of the compound. Show all the steps involved. Now in this, they have given you the empirical formula. So you will calculate the weight of it, C3H4N. So answer will be 54. Small n is molecular mass divided by empirical formula mass. So it will be 108 divided by 54. That gives you 2. Hence the molecular formula will be n into empirical formula. N is 2. So 2 into C3H4N gives C6H8N2. Now they are asking the amount of carbon. So you can say that one molecule of C6H8N2 contains 6 carbon atoms. So 108 grams will contain 6 into 12, that is 72 grams of carbon. That will be the answer. Then part 2A, Mahesh prepared a basic solution X that has a pH 7. How will the pH of the solution X change on addition of the following acid? Hydrochloric acid. pH decreased from 7 because it is an acid. A solution of a base, pH is increased. The atomic number of an element is 15. To which group of the element it will belong? It will belong to group 15. Part 3, 8.2 grams of calcium nitrate is decomposed by heating according to the equation. Calculate the following. The first part says volume. So in this case, it will be 2 CaNO3 whole twice. So it will be 2 into the molecular mass of CaNO3 whole twice, which will give 328 grams. And similarly for calcium oxide, it will be 2 into the molecular mass of calcium oxide. The volume for NO2, 1 mole is 22.4 liters. So for 4, it will be 4 into 22.4 liters. So the statement will be that 328 grams of calcium nitrate gives 4 into 22.4 liters of nitrogen dioxide gas. Hence, 8.2 grams of calcium nitrate will give. You will use a unitary method. It will be 4 into 22.4 into 8.2 divided by 328 gives 2.24 liters at STP. Mass of calcium oxide formed. Again, 328 grams of calcium nitrate gives 2 into 56 grams of calcium oxide. Hence, 8.2 grams of calcium nitrate will give 2 into 56 divided by 328 into 8.2 equal to 2.8 grams will be the answer. Now, in the question number 8, state the following. State giving reasons if zinc and aluminum can be distinguished by heating the metal powder with conc sodium hydroxide solution. So zinc will give white PPT with conc NaOH solution, whereas aluminum gives your colorless solution. B. Calcium nitrate and lead nitrate can be distinguished by adding ammonium hydroxide solution. So in the case of calcium nitrate, it will not react with ammonium hydroxide, but lead nitrate will give a white PPT which is insoluble in excess of NH4OH. Draw the diagram of hydronium ion. I've already told you that either hydronium or ammonium ion will definitely come in the paper because only two examples are there for coordinate bond. So you will draw the electron dot structure of H3O plus and please show the coordinate bond with the help of an arrow. Give balanced equations for the following. Lab preparation of ethine from calcium carbide. CaC2 plus 2H2O gives CaOH whole twice plus C2H2. Conversion of acetic acid to ethyl acetate, CH3COOH plus C2H5OH. On the arrow, you will write conc H2SO4, giving an ester CH3COO C2H5 plus H2O. It is an example of esterification reaction also. Lab preparation of nitric acid, KNO3 plus H2SO4. On the arrow, you will write less than 200 degrees centigrade, giving KHSO4 plus HNO3. Then it is saying the fourth part, identify the following substances and alkaline gas which produces dense white fumes when reacted with HCl gas. It is your ammonia NH3. The anion present in the salt which produces a smell with the smell of rotten eggs when reacted with dilute HCl, it will be your sulfide ion. D for duffer, D for donkey. That you all must be remembering many a times. Your teachers with love address the students like this only. So it is sulfide, S minus 2. Then particles present in strong electrolytes, it will be ions because strong electrolytes show almost complete dissociation. So this is your specimen paper solution for your tomorrow's paper. All the best. I hope Chemistry Tute was a great help for the preparation of your paper. So with this, all the best for tomorrow's paper. Thank you.